Hi, Dave here, and today we're going to check out the work of Jeremy Paillotin. He's a freelance concept artist based in Toulouse, France. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name and this town. He has worked for the Blade Runner film, right? So that's pretty cool. And the Mary Poppins, Guardians of the Galaxy, some Disney stuff, but I'm actually more fascinated with his paintings, right? Because I've seen this guy way back. He actually stopped posting on YouTube, but he still has enough videos on there that I guess inspire people, or at least it inspires me, right? Like the way he paints is just kind of artsy, it feels like he takes his time, right? That's the kind of mood I get. He does mostly environments, not a lot of character and creature designs, but and yeah, a lot of his shots, like his painting shots, are kind of stable, like simple, not flat, but they're not exactly super dynamic. They're kind of a still shot, right? And they're very peaceful, I think. Even if it's kind of moody, it still has that sense of stability, right, in the shot. Lots of environments going on. Now this is more recent, right? It's some personal work, a bit of experimentation going on, and you can tell by the way he paints. Not a lot of texture brushes, right? I mean, I do see a bit of rake brush being used, but in this study, I guess, or this painting, it's you can tell he's more of a painter, right? And it shows in his work, even if it paints over some kind of a 3D model, right? You can see how he takes it over, or he takes over the image, right? Once the composition is there from, say, the model or sketch, he just lets the paint kind of happen, right? And I do like the way it shows up in the end. It's actually kind of like an actual painting, and it doesn't have that rendered look, right? And not exactly, it's not even graphical as well. It's just like a painting, like a solid digital painting, right? And it doesn't have that plastic look to it, right? He's not using the basic round brush or anything like that. It's a bit more, it's a mix between digital and traditional, So this is actually more fan art, I think. Some King Kong versus Godzilla fan art in the frame store art department during their downtime. It's not exactly official art, it's more, again, fan art, but I do like this shot more, right? It's more epic. It reminds me of the fighting scene where they were in the aircraft carrier, I think, right? Pretty epic. And I did like the trailer for the film, because it did have like some pretty cool music, right, to kind of go along with the scene. It felt so right, seeing the sequence and shit. Anyway, right? And again, you can still tell that he does paint over, and he has a nice way of painting clouds, I've noticed. Now he does have a video of this one, and I think this is based off of the Harry Potter films. Like I guess this is some kind of fan art, right? Personal project. And yeah, in the video he does use a model, right? And he's using Modo for this one. But once that's done, he does, I think, break down the image a bit. Like he has a simple layering system. He's not that complicated, but obviously he has to use layers. He can't be as raw, right? And it's good to be safe whenever you have like a model behind it, just because it's already set and it can get out of hand if you keep painting over your mistakes. So just being a bit more organized, I think, really helps you to stay on track, right? And keep to the initial composition. And he likes to add a lot of fog in his work, or clouds, right? And a lot of his work tends to be soft looking, right? And the values are great here. Now in this case, he did use you can tell he does have a couple of videos on there, but again, it's been a while since he has posted, so it's kind of sad. And by the way, as of this recording, I'm going in his past work, because his more recent work doesn't have a lot of paintings, right? So I actually have to look back like 5 years ago to see the more painterly stuff. So here he did use another model, right? Same concept, same Harry Potter kind of thing, right? And then you can tell he does stick very well to the main model, but in the end, it still looks like he painted it. So that's kind of cool. And he does have a bit of John Park-ishness to his work, right? Very, very opaque, strong silhouettes, right? Not very, I don't see a lot of mixer brush being used unless it's for like clouds and shit. It's a bit straightforward and solid, right? Now, this is some kind of, he did use some textures here, you know? A bit of photo bashing involved, but this is typical concept art stuff, right? Where you have one guy per scale, and then maybe the main focal point, some architecture, or maybe some big monster, right? But yeah, the levels are done well. The foreground is darker than the actual mid-ground, I guess, where this creature is at. And the greatest contrast is on this thing, and in the eyes especially, right? Now this is more of a painting, right? You can tell the brushiness of this specific tree, but I like how even if there's a bit of detail here, your eye is kind of focused on this one first, just because of the contrast, right? It's pretty light here, and then everywhere else it's just dark gray, right? Look at the way he simplified these mountains here, right? Very, very nice. Pretty cool. This one actually reminds me a bit of Raphael Lacoste. He does have similar types of designs for rocks sometimes. Like they tend to be kind of, excuse me, spicy. Not spicy, spiky. Fuck. Right? And a lot of sunsets. I do know Raphael likes to use sunset types of times for his concepts, right? And again, they're pretty clean, right? They're not that like impressionistic. It's pretty straightforward. Again, John Park vibes, and maybe a bit of shit. Ah, God, oh my God. Anyway, the futuristic guy, the one that passed away, the godfather of concept art, I think. Gosh, it's bothering me. Oh, Sid Mead, fuck you. Yeah, right? Look at the colors, very, very retro. You can see some oranges, or some yellows, some oranges, some greens. It kind of reminds me of the color palette of Sid Mead, right? Or at least this piece is kind of speaking to me in that way, right? And look at how the shadows were done here. It's not even that raw. Obviously, it's like super far away, so it's not going to be that strong, right? It's going to be slightly gray. The levels are going to be way, way lighter, right? But again, look at the cleanliness of it. Very, very straightforward. Here we have some kind of this is the May sketch a day. Again, done or posted 5 years ago. Lots of mountains, lots of snow. Again, these are more painterly, right? I can tell the mixer brush was used, especially for the sky and some, like, you know, fog and shit. very, very atmospheric. And again, the lighting in his work, he likes to stick to this kind of in between types of times where it's kind of sunset, sunrise, right? But this one's pretty cool. It's like a traditional painting, right? The composition, you know, it's pretty simple, but it's kind of evenly spaced out, right? It's kind of thick here or big here, medium here, and then very, very small here, right? Ooh. Right? Again, look at the lighting of it. Now this is pretty bright, right? It's a bit too strong, but again, I feel like it's a bit efficient. I feel like John Park is way more efficient with his brushwork. Because I feel like Jeremy here is a bit more artsy. Like he likes to drag or make some very, very painterly strokes, and I can relate more to Jeremy in this way, you know. Because sometimes John Park's work, I mean, it's amazing, but it can feel too graphical. Like the cuts are too sharp often, and it kind of takes away from the artsy side. But again, you know, he's doing it for a purpose. I guess it's part of the requirements of the industry, right? You have to be kind of fast, so it's kind of a learned behavior, I guess, or habit, or a rewarded kind of approach. He has a video of this. Reminds me a bit of Avatar, right? The alien kind of world. Big tree. He doesn't have a lot of this types of concepts where it's a bit more, where it has a bit of narrative, right? I feel like the environment is way more interesting in the lighting sequence than the actual character, right? And this kind of elk, deer, right? Maybe if you zoom in this level, perhaps, but maybe it's because this branch thing is a bit too interesting, right? Anyway. Ooh, again, look at the sunset. Wow, look at how simple the clouds are, right? But you can even see the messiness of the brushstrokes, right? Like it's not that clean, but you know, it's pretty. You know, it's nice to look at. Maybe he obviously does have, I'm guessing he does have reference on the side to you know, make sure he gets the right palette right. And again, it's not even that detailed, but it gets the mood across. You know, this is a great mood painting, right? A great sketch. Yeah. Let's just play this and see how his process is. Or so sketch, underpainting, right? Some base paint. So it does layer things a bit, right? But it's not that complicated. You know, the foreground, background, sky. He did use a clipping mask for the clouds. I guess it's easier to go back. Right? Pretty cool. Okay, the lighting is still not right here, but eventually it kind of balances out. So lots of soft brushes being used, right? To create that atmosphere, I guess. There you go, right? It kind of becomes blurry a bit and a bit soft. Yeah. Anyway. And he also has a video of this guy. Reminds me a bit of Sparth, right? The way he does the leveling. It's a bit graphical. In this case is not, or Jeremy is not as painterly. He's a bit more graphical, I feel. And this one is more painterly, right? Kind of like this one as well. And He does have a decent amount of subs on his YouTube channel, but it's sad, you know, he hasn't posted in like forever. But I still recommend you watch and, you know, just save some of his videos for inspiration, you know. Here we have another old concept, right? It's a bit more finished, right? Again, sunset or sunrise, right? Bit of rain going on here. It's kind of windy, you can tell by the direction of the rain, right? Ooh, this one's pretty like concept arty, and it's way more textures involved. It's a bit more organized, not as messy, right? And of course, he likes a lot of castles. He likes knights, he likes castles. Mostly castles, right? And mountains. That's kind of his thing. Birds, of course, right? Here we have a sci-fi concept. Was done for the Sense Collective for their upcoming project, Dystopia. Maybe this is the world that's, you know, that we're headed to, basically. And of course the bots, the drones, are watching if we've been, you know, properly accounted for. If you disagree with anything, I mean, you know, you basically end up at the camps or something. Anyway, he doesn't have a lot of sci-fi. Lots of castles, like fantasy, not fantasy, but landscapes, I guess. Here we have a flight school, how to train your falcon. I guess they're training falcons here. Look at the clouds, very, very puffy. Right? This one reminds me of... Oh shit. I was actually thinking of Assassin's Creed, but in the description on the side it says not an Assassin's Creed fan art. So, because it does look like, you know, the guy, like he has the same kind of pose, like a sneaky archer with a hood, right? But again, the painting style is still there. Maybe this guy does have like a basic, well not basic, but a traditional background. But I think it's a joke. Because it's obviously, you know. Is it? Because the pose is so like... Anyway. Here we have another broken castle. A labyrinth, I think. Right? Nice lighting, sunset, right? It seems like it's a shot for some kind of game. Or it could be like a shot. A game shot, right? The way the levels were done here with the rocks reminds me a lot of Sparth. Again, very, very sharp shadows and lights. Or nice, solid distinctions, you know? I mean, he could have painted, added, a bit more variety, but, you know. I guess this thing right here is the main focus, so it's going to have a bit more texture, right? But yeah. Again, knights. Here we have, I guess, his, some kind of Arctic scene, right? Again, look at the lighting here. It's like morning, right? Reminds me of the film The Thing, right? The alien that's kind of like a parasitic thing. Anyway. Very, very nice. Very, very clean. Very, very Scandinavian-ish, like Northern European-ish. You know, they're very, very tall and very accustomed to the cold weather, right? Fuck. Here we have another castle with, guess what? Some knights with a nice flag. Again, very, very stable shots, right? Notice the stability of his shots. Very, very straightforward. And it gives him the opportunity to be more creative with the actual composition and the design, you know? You can have something that's fixed so that you can be more... Like, it's good to have limits to your work so you can have more leeway or have more space to focus on that thing you want to be more creative in, right? Design, composition, mood, story, whatever, right? Oh, here we have another sci-fi, right? Nice guy with a gun, nice drone, nice lava effects here, right? Nicely done, painted, right? Ooh, look at the lava here, right? Painted, right? And it feels like it's actually, you know, in a distance away from the foreground, right? And here the lava is a bit yellow. I guess the fog here, or the smoke coming from the lava, kind of changes the color as you go further away, right? Very, very nice atmosphere happening here. Anyway, so yeah, check out his YouTube channel. I do recommend you follow him, subscribe to him there. Again, he has like 24k subs, but his last video was posted 4 years ago. So that's kind of sad. It's really, really sad because he has like this is one of my favorites of his. But yeah, I do recommend you subscribe, watch his videos because it's not that long. It's a bit, it is time-lapsed, so you know, it's fun to watch. It's a quick kind of booster of inspiration, right? Here he's a bit more graphical, but anyway, so that's it for this art review of Jeremy Paillotin. Fuck, he's French, I'm assuming. And yeah, keep training, keep painting, keep learning, and stay free.